It is Bruins Benders post-game live, and it's coming to you on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias. We do the post-games right here. Get into the comment sections. Tell us your sips. Tell us what pisses you off. A 3-2 loss in overtime to the lowly Buffalo Sabres, who had lost like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 of their road games recently. Just a piss poor team, and they come in and at times look like the Moscow Red Army offensively, especially on the power play. And the Bruins lose another game where they don't get a ton of shots on net. It's not entertaining hockey, so forth and so on. Their backup goaltender kept them in the game for a while, but as Smitty said right before we went on, this team has no business taking any game to overtime.
No, they don't. It's infuriating. This team sucks too much. Too many things they suck at. I can't even talk right now. They suck so badly that you can't take games in over. Like they don't deserve to bring games into overtime. I don't want to watch them play in overtime. Mm-hmm. It's awful. You don't deserve to bring games in overtime because you're that bad. And they don't get any shots again. That's fun. It was entertaining there for a little bit. Look, Korpisalo deserved better. He played pretty well tonight.
I thought he did. Yeah.
The overtime goal goes off Yoki Hayu, then off Tuck or something like that, and goes in. But he made a couple of huge saves before that. On a power play that whatever. I mean, Stick was in a bad place, but there were some calls that could have gone Boston's way earlier in overtime that didn't. Pasa was furious, and rightly so. I mean, Sabres had an advantage 4-2 in power play chances. Many more shots. Probably deserved to win the game. I would say Sabres probably played better overall. Pekka Luukkonen made some good saves on Bruins players. Pastrnak on a breakaway save. Mm-hmm. So, Bruins had some good chances. The only problem is that the only guys that shoot are Pastrnak, Elias Lindholm. He can't hit the net, but he shoots quite a bit. And then, a couple other guys, but they had 19 shots tonight?
Yeah, 19 shots. Yeah, in an overtime game.
Overtime. Yeah, I mean, they're shots. So offensively challenged. Mm. It's mind-boggling that Pastrnak can do what he does, surrounded by the cast that he's by. I mean, it really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's. I think I saw it tonight. He's one assist away from another 50 assist season, which is, I guess, only 9 players. Only 9 Bruins players have done it 3 years in a row, or something like that. He almost made a save at the end of the game. Puck hit the post, and he's sprawling out in the crease, like he's trying to do everything. And he's, that whole reaction at the end is just Pastrnak. Pastrnak did not envision when he signed that big contract that this is where he would be and the team would be. Like he's clearly frustrated by the whole thing.
Sure.
And he's clearly playing his ass off far harder than he's ever played before because he has to. He's everything to the team. He's literally everything to the team. And he's feeling the weight of it. And he's feeling the frustration. And that's what happens at the, you can't really call that penalty. I mean, Khustnidinov has a stick out, but then pretty much is not even holding it really. And the guy takes 2 strides before he trips over it. Like they had another one like that earlier in the game. Like, just can't make that call there.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the game, Mitchell gets the puck. And look, I'm no fan of Ian Mitchell's. If anybody, sees my tweets during the game, they know this. That Mitchell Wotherspoon pairing is dreadful. Like they're on the ice all the time for goals against. Mm-hmm. But he gets the puck first, and then the guy trips over his stick. Like that's a good defensive play. It used to be anyway. If you got the puck first, it didn't matter if you tripped the guy. But now apparently it does. It's a all new league. It's a new league with new rules. Yeah. When are they gonna start calling the I'm gonna just shadow you to keep you from getting to my defenseman interference call? When are they gonna start calling that fucking thing?
Remember they went on the point of emphasis when they were calling interferences like left and right, taking interference out of the game. It's slowly creeping back.
The Red Wings have been doing that shit for years. It's fucking infuriating. infuriating.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna have that so you can't get in on the forecheck. They're just gonna stay.
Remember you couldn't a puck was flipped in and you had to stay within your body frame. You couldn't go outside your body to distract the player. Now guys are being driven all the way to the friggin' center ice to get around you. That's interference. Here's the good news: the Bruins have only had one shootout game all year long, right? I think it's only one. Right, and they suck at shootouts. Like they suck worse than they do in real life.
They might be good. Who knows? They might be good at it now.
Yeah, maybe.
Talentless.
Maybe it's all a detriment. Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. Look, as Shaz Diet said, the Mittelstadt line tonight was getting just throat punched today.
Yeah,
and then finally, after I saw his comment, with a minute and a half left, all of a sudden Lindholm's on that line. With a minute and a half left. Don't make an adjustment earlier.
Well, but the problem with that is you essentially reward Mittelstadt for playing shitty with two other shitty guys, and you put them with Pastrnak. So, what?
Right.
What?
Two other shitty guys. Yeah.
It's a Minnesota
playing with Lettieri.
They're all from Minnesota. It was the Minnesota line. Mittelstadt, Koepke, and Lettieri all play college hockey.
The Minnesota high school
college hockey in Minnesota. So it's a Minnesota shit sandwich, is what it is.
Vinny Lettieri is still on the second line. I mean, I just can't. I just can't. I just can't. Obviously, this is going to be a roll the lines out for the last 13 games. And it's a slow, not tank, but it's just we're not going to try anything different. We're not going to bring young guys up. We're not going to do anything else. We're going to keep these lines together. We're just going to roll it out there. We're going to try like hell. I'll tell you this. The Bruins are playing hard. They're trying.
Yeah.
They're really playing hard. They just suck. Yeah. They aren't good.
Yes. Correct.
They aren't good. The players are playing hard. And tonight they were really disappointed that they lost. They were really upset. Korpisalo slammed his stick. They were really upset they lost, but they blow. And so it doesn't matter. They play really hard though. They just don't play well because they stink.
This version of the Bruins, we talked about their forward group before, but this version of the Bruins with this forward group,
yikes. It's fucking terrible.
Yikes.
You thought that they were offensively challenged before. Then they got rid of 5 forwards. And now they're left with this. 13 more games and then as luck would have it, a 5-game road swing that goes through West Coast is just torture. It's just 10:30 at night on a Saturday night or whatever it is against the San Jose Sharks or whatever the fuck. 10:30 Eastern. Honestly.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be what? It's gonna be a 1 o'clock.
That's a 1 o'clock post game.
They're gonna get pumped every fucking game because everybody left on the team is gonna be like, fuck it. We have nothing to play for. Let's live it up in California. The season's almost over, baby.
Yeah, half these guys don't even know if they'll win a team next year. That's the other thing.
I hope they do that. I hope they get shit pumped. Get into the top 5. Fuck. Let's do that shit.
If this is what we're gonna do, you're only 9 points away from the Sabres now.
Yes. If this is what we're gonna do, if this is what we're gonna be, let's get into the fucking top 5. Let's get in there.
Yeah.
This is the top 7-8 guys are supposed to be pretty good. There's 4 or 5 forwards and there's a couple of D-men that are supposed to be pretty good. Let's fucking get in there. And for the love of fucking Christ, it's the best player available. BPA, best player available. Do not, under any circumstances, pick for need. Do not.
Let's say they get the number 1 pick on the draft. Okay. Let's say they get the number 1 pick on the draft.
Yeah.
Are they going to take that left shot defenseman?
Maybe.
Would you want them to take a left shot defenseman? Isn't that the strength for the next 6 years? They have left shot defensemen.
Yeah.
They have Lohrei, Zadorov, and Lindholm are all left shot defensemen.
Well, Hampus Lindholm is what?
31.
31
well, by then, Jesus. By the time that guy's ready, 33.
Right. Yeah. And he's coming, and he's a question mark with the injury. His knee
is falling apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So,
true.
I mean, I would still probably go center because, there's a few of them there at the top. Yeah, Misa or Martone or, what is it? McQueen,
then they'll blow again next year and take McKenna the following year.
Jake O'Brien, one of those guys. There's a group of them there that are all pretty good. Like pretty good.
So Schaefer's upside is Makar Hughes, as Zach Hayes says in the comments. I mean, fuck.
It is.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, if it is,
that's what I'm hearing from my sources.
Zach Hayes is your source?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm an NHL insider. My sources confirm that Zach Hayes is correct.
Zach Hayes is correct. Okay. Zach Hayes is correct.
Yeah.
James Hagens. Yeah. I mean, I still think they're going to get around 7.
Hagen's production right now at BC is going this.
Down. Yeah.
So, I mean, he could just be worn down, after a long college season.
But they lost to Northeastern. Their DNA, their clutch DNA is not strong.
Yeah. They'll still be the number 1 overall seed in the tournament.
They will.
They will. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do. They'll probably do the wrong thing because that's what they.
I'll tell you what. Like you said, central scouting, like you said with the Southern scouting, if you're picking 7th, pick the 7th best guy the Central scouting says. Like honestly, at the least, like just do that.
It's really not that hard.
If they go and pick some fucking guy that's projected 18th with upside, I'm gonna lose my mother ever living mind. Honestly, you're gonna pick a guy who's gonna be like 3 years down the road.
You went right to the edge of sorry, John, there, and then you.
I did. I went right to the edge. I went to the edge.
I'm not doing it.
If it was playoff hockey, I would have gone. Mother effer. I would have gone.
Yeah.
It's not playoff hockey. This team doesn't deserve me to say mother effer on any type of live stream.
So do you think you think this team doesn't deserve me to swear at them?
You know what? We might have to give the darns and the hecks and all that stuff the rest of the year. It's just not worth it.
Heck team, isn't it?
Darn heck. Mother effing heck.
I don't know if we can allow that. This show would probably suck as bad as the Bruins.
Right. That's true.
There's no real reason, though, to get upset about this group of collection of
what are they going to do? Like this group right here, Lettieri can't be on the team next year.
Oh, he's not.
Even Khustnidinov, even something like Khustnidinov. Like to me, you got to get better than all those guys. Like right now, you have to get better than all those guys on the team. So right now, it really looks like it's going to be, Beecher, Kastelic, maybe even Koepke. Roll that shit back. Yeah. Roll that shit back.
I told you about Johnny Beecher. He's not on my fucking hockey team.
Right. He may not be on yours.
That thing I can fucking swear at.
He might not be on yours.
Fuck that guy. He's not on my team.
No.
He's not on my team.
Connor Clifton almost took his head off.
I mean, here's typical John Beecher tonight. Has the puck in the low right wing circle, and the Nesson commentator says, Beecher takes the puck to the net and loses it.
Yeah, lost it. Yeah.
Just stick handling to the net. No check, nothing.
Just
doesn't get a shot, just lost it.
That's the guy who just doesn't think he's going to make a play.
That's him in a nutshell. That is his entire career encapsulated.
That's a guy that just doesn't have the cojones to get to the net with the puck. That's all it really is.
No, I
can't do this, so I'm going to lose it.
He stick handles like a 12-year-old. That's what
he does. Like he was when he was 12, because he scored 7 goals when he was 12 too. I mean, he just isn't any good.
How about Riley Duran? How about Riley Duran having more goals now than him? Riley Duran
he has ever had
10 goals in Providence, more goals than Johnny Beecher's ever had in his entire life. And he probably will not get a shot just as fast as Beecher. Will hit. Will play physical.
Gets to the net.
To the net. And hey, he actually scores from time to time.
And he's got size.
Let's not give him a chance because we have a first-round pick that can't do anything. I was watching him penalty kill tonight. He sucks at that too. Yeah. He sucks at that too.
Yeah, they are trying to find something out of that guy, and it's just not working.
It's you know why? You know why they can't find anything? Because it's not there. It's not there.
There it is, gone. Yeah.
That's why I can't find it, because it's never been there.
It's never been there.
He's never had it. Whatever they're looking for, he never had.
They're trying to manufacture something out of John Beecher, and it's just not happening. And you're right. He's going to block Riley Duran next year because they're going to sign the guy again. Like
he's not in my hockey team. He's not in my hockey team.
I'll tell you what.
I live in an alternate universe.
We're going live when they re-sign him, so you can just you're doing it on thin ice.
Yeah, there'll be you know, for you subscribers out there, there'll be an on thin ice when Johnny Beecher resigns, and I might die in the street because I will be that angry with what happens.
Oh,
Smitty's
God.
Secretly first in line for the Johnny Beecher meet and greet. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
you're going to be over in like Medford Square with John Beecher or something.
Bring a weapon. If you let me bring a weapon. Can I, what's Tanya Harding's bodyguard's name? What is it, Shane Galluli? Can I bring a fucking crowbar and just whack Johnny Beecher in like the kneecap?
The fact that you remember that fat ass's name is like iconic. Like that is ridiculous, honestly.
I'm going to take, I tell you what, if we had like a meet and greet at fucking Bob's stores and like, you know, in fucking Shrewsbury or somewhere. I'm gonna bring a crowbar and I am going to knock that bastard in his kneecap.
Oh my God!
I can't have him be on my hockey team. I just can't. I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Oh, how about before we get to the comments? How about the behind the B, where Don Sweeney announced the trade of Marchand and said Florida just traded for Marshy. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like he comes into the room, he's like, "Hey, Florida just traded for Marshy." Asshole. The correct statement should be, "I just traded Marshy to Florida." Yeah. I mean, seriously, he talked like there was two different teams. He talked like it was Crosby going to Florida.
Like he had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Like it was somebody else that was on the phone.
Oh my God!
Like he was out of his
like Evan Gold did it, and he didn't have no idea. He came out of a shitter.
Brad Marchand's agent made the deal.
He came out of the shitter, and Evan Gold's like, "Oh, by the way, I just traded Marchand for a bag of fucking Doritos." Oh, and a second round pick too.
Oh my God! I mean, you just got to put a list together of the fucking tomfoolery that's happened this year. It's been like epic clown show.
I thought it was more and more funny throughout that clip as you could actively see Sweens get more and more depressed as he labels off one thing at a time and pauses in the trade.
Yeah.
It was painstaking for him.
Because he realized then, I'm fucked. I have no idea how to do this. I leaned on that core forever until it bled out. And now I got to get rid of all these guys, and I have no idea where to turn. That's what it is. He has no idea. You watch. No idea how to build this thing. Zero idea. He squeezed the life out of that core that largely other people built. So, God bless. Hallelujah.
Really does.
I mean, it's just. All right. Comment time. So Sway's kryptonite is deflections. He rallies the troops by looking forward for the guys building their game in front of him. This fucker is delusional. It may well be Sweeney's worst contract ever. Do you have that clip, that audio, Connor, of Swayman and his comments about his health?
How are you feeling physically at this point in the season? You're now past your career high in games played.
Excellent. I'm really happy with the way my body's responding, where my mind is, and where I'm at mentally. Even through the adversity that we face, I know that every day that I get up, it's a new day, a new opportunity to succeed, and that's something that I've really honed in this year. And my body's responded really well, and I'm really happy for it. And I know I'm going to keep doing whatever I need to do to stay healthy and ready to play any given night.
You know what you remind me of?
Sports. Go fuck yourself.
You know that in couples retreat with that yoga guy? He reminds me of that guy, like that feel-good guy when he's dry humping Jason Bateman's wife right in front of him, and Jason Bateman's down by his cock, and he's like, "Hey, how's that feel, honey?" Yeah, that's what Swayman reminds me of right there. Just everything is wonderful, like like he's some '70s hippie. Yeah,
my body feels excellent.
Really happy with my health,
mentally sharp. Why doesn't it show up on the ice then? Yeah. Why doesn't it show up there?
Yeah. How about your stats? How happy you are with those?
Yeah. There needed to be more questions asked there.
Your
body feels good, but you really haven't had the results. We're dealing with some adversity and
I'm fine.
He's got to be positive. Be positive.
Fine.
Yeah.
That's why I have a hard time with the Boston media, especially the Bruins media. Like, hammer these guys. Like, come at these guys. I agree with Michael Felger, who used to be one of those guys who would
used to be a beat guy, sure.
Yeah, he used to be a beat guy with the Herald, and Bruins beat guy, and he would get on. He would get after people, and Harrison had hated the guy because he'd ask the fucking questions. Like,
and Shaughnessy asked questions too. Sure.
Yeah. How about a follow up, dude? How about you sucked all year long after making 8.25 and holding the team over a barrel? What do you feel about your performance?
Yeah, your body feels good, but how do you feel about your performance? Jesus. How do you feel about the fact that you can't win when you play 3 games in a row?
Yeah.
It's terrible when you play 3 games in a row. So how great is your body on the third night of 3 games in a row? Like,
I know why your body feels well. The puck never hits it. That's why your body feels great.
Yeah.
You have no welts.
Because it goes in. It goes in all the fucking time.
By you sieve. Jesus Christ. I mean,
I got a sip tonight. It is Saxon's River.
Saxon's.
Vermont Maple Bourbon.
Saxon's Maple Bourbon, huh?
And hey, look, we still got a streak going with the merch.
We're streaking, honey.
And we want to let everybody know, producer Connor wants to let everybody know, those tumbler glasses, those rocks glasses, whatever the fuck they're called, they're sexy, whatever it is that they're called. They have all shipped. So if you ordered one, they are on the way. We got some on the way to us. So when they show up, we'll be sure to use those when we're doing the sips and everything. Yeah. But we need the streak to continue. So we need.
We do.
We need something tonight. Doesn't have to be a glass or a mug. Can be a T-shirt. Can be a sweatshirt. Can be, a coffee cup. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what. B who knows nothing about hockey is buying a shirt. So if she can buy a shirt, then you all can.
Long sleeved.
Absolutely.
I got the long sleeve one. It's fucking sweet. I love the hell out of that thing. Use a coupon code. Save yourself some money. 20%
Use the coupon code.
Sorry, John.
Sorry, John.
Buy somebody keep the streak alive. We need to keep the streak going.
Yes.
Please and thank you.
I'm with you 100%. Let's see. 2-point game for Geekie. So Geeks makes a great play. Krejci-esque. Tom with the puck. Makes a great play. Kick to the stick. Holds it. Slides it over. Goal. Yeah. And then to the net with a great play with someone hanging all over his back to score. Geekie with 23 goals. And I would assume they're re-signing him.
That extension's coming.
It's coming. I cringe a little at what it is.
It's probably gonna be a number where we're like, what?
Is it gonna be like
5 by 5, baby? Let's fucking go.
5-5.
Absolutely absurdity.
5 times 5. Okay.
He's an RFA, right?
He's an RFA, so you don't have to do something crazy.
So the 5 times 5, he's making what this year? 2.
Yeah. Last one was 2 times 2.
There's no. They don't have to go high, high, and they can take him in arbitration. They can take him in arbitration if they have to keep the number down. But
he still doesn't have much leverage. He still doesn't have.
Oh, he doesn't.
He doesn't. Like 1 times 3 and a half. 1 times 4 if you want to avoid arbitration. Okay, but 1. Like 1 more prove it year.
Prove it year.
Other than that, Other than that,
you can go 2 times 3.5 or something like that. If he wants to, if he wants to sign long term, then you could go up. Maybe you go to, to 4, 3 times 4 or something like that, or 4 times 4. But I'm not going to 5, not yet. He's got to prove it more than. I mean, he's gone up and up and up every year, and he's still in his 20s, his mid 20s. So,
the projection's good.
It is. Yeah. But you don't want to get too carried away there, because the team needs a lot. So you can't be, overspending there for Geekie when, when you need to go out and bring in a lot more talent.
But like you said, are you a really good hockey club if he's on the top line? Like you aren't. Like
no.
I think it looks good right now, but at the end of the day, he's got to be like second line at best. So now he's playing with somebody else other than Pastrnak. And let's be honest, Pasternak's helped him to 23 goals.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, drop him down, and he's probably a 15 goal scorer still. He scored, 17 and 18 the last 2 years. Like, he's probably that.
Yeah.
Without Pastrnak. So this is a little inflated.
It is. And so
you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. So to me, you could leave him on the top line with Pastrnak, but then you would need a different center. You need to have 2 really good players on that top line. And right now there's one elite talent, and then there's, a couple of pretty good guys. You need to have another really good guy with either one of those guys. And then the other guy drops down. So you just, you need to have more talent there. You could play him, and he could be like the third talent, the third most talented guy on that line, and stay there and produce and be fine. But you need somebody else with a lot of talent to play with those 2 guys, if you get what I'm saying.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. All right, more comments here. B watched her on the Sergei Samsonov era. That was the last time they had two top 10 picks. They had first and eighth. 1997. We were at that draft. They took Thornton and Samsonov that season. And then of course Thornton was gone, and later after that, Samsonov was gone, and Sagan was gone when they picked him, and Kessel was gone when they picked him, and Hamilton was gone when they picked him. So I just hope that they pick the guy and he stays for 4, 5, 6 years. And they don't fucking jettison him out for some unknown reason.
They love picking the guys and then giving up on them too early, and then they flourish somewhere else.
Andrew Pedro, I'll buy 5 items if Smitty wears a Beecher jersey first episode.
First episode of what? Next year?
The next year, or the first episode of the Benders Off Air thing, or someone would have to buy. Like, it's not. Someone would have to buy it for me.
I'm not fucking buying it. So if someone wants to steal one from the pro shop for me, or buy it for me, I'll wear it. So you buy your items.
They even make John Beecher jerseys. Like, is that a thing you can get somewhere?
You can get a fake.
You have to customize it.
Can I get like a $29 John Beecher jersey? Like, even that, like, is that worth it?
I might be able to get you a knockoff.
You buy 5 items.
Yeah.
It's going to cost probably.
I think more effective would be you making a Beecher shirt of some sort and wearing that, like Beecher's #1 fan, or Beach and Smitty sitting on a tree, KISSING, like something like that. Wear that bitch on the first episode.
When he scores, I say Beach Club, so maybe I'll have a picture of a fat guy in
a
beach umbrella.
Beach Club, yes.
No, the fucking front of the t-shirt has to be you and Johnny Beecher animated laying on fucking beach chairs on the beach.
Yes.
And Pedro says he'll buy it. You're going to buy me a Johnny Beecher jersey and send it to me just to make me feel bad about
Beecher. The Beecher jersey. Then you can flip it on eBay for like $19.
No, after I wear it, I'm setting it on fire.
A ceremony. A ceremony watched by all the people.
Yeah. That could be on thin ice too.
Absolutely.
I'll wear the jersey and then I'll set it on fire.
Sacrificial burning. a beach.
Jesus Christ. Guy 67 who says, "Who the fuck would want a beach jersey?" Well, I mean, there you go.
I guess that's the point. Yeah,
it's family. They're very nice people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Beach is a swell individual.
I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. All the guys on the team are wonderful guys. It has nothing to do with him as a person. We've said this 1,000 times. It's about how they play on the ice.
No doubt about it.
As people, I'm sure they're all wonderful people. I don't know any
people. Yeah. I'm sure they're all great. I mean, they're all really nice guys. We keep talking about how too nice they are. Of course they are. They're all great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all wonderful guys. And look, Johnny Beecher is 4,000 times better at hockey than I am.
4,000 times. Yes.
But
although in a game of street hockey, we might whip his ass. But other than that,
I mean, street hockey, we can throw some goals. Which is something he can't do.
Right. They can run circles around us and then we'll score.
Yeah, I mean, if hitting's allowed, we're in trouble.
No doubt.
But he had the reach and the speed on both of us. But I think we'd probably take him.
Yeah, I think so. Tonight's me, you, and Jones out in the Candlewood friggin' street hockey circle, and we'd beat his ass.
Yeah, playing a little bean pot action. Michigan, so he doesn't deserve it.
That's a Michigan. Tonight's sip for Fox Guy is Guinness Extra Stout ×6.
Yeah, there you go.
Heavy.
Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day to all you Irishmen and fake Irishmen and guys who just like an excuse to drink. Today's your day, for sure. I think Adrienne had some Buffalo Trace with extra Buffalo Trace with Coke today.
Good for her.
So good for her. Yeah. And Smitty's got the Saxon going. All right, let's see. We're fucked this offseason, says Matthew Curtis. We do not have the cap space we need to make this team entertaining or competitive again. I really just worry about who they can get and who's willing to come, what they're willing to spend. I mean, you're hearing about, Marner still has a really good chance to sign to Toronto. And now Bennett's talking with Florida to extend there. Like, guys are coming off the board. Like, there aren't really any real game changes beyond the first 4 or 5 guys in free agency.
I told you it's going to
end up with a Schmenza.
It's going to be the middle of the road, guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the lower end because no one that's any good is going to want to come to this team. They're going to see this team playing at the end of the season or around the league. They're going to see where they finished. They're going to see their goal differential. And then no one's going to want to come here. Why would you want to come here if you could go to, Dallas or Colorado or Toronto or, anywhere else? I mean, the Bruins have the 5th worst goal differential in the league. They're one of the worst teams in the league. They're offensively challenged. They don't have a lot of high-end skill for skilled players to play with unless you're playing with Pastrnak, and he likes Zacha, and Geekie will probably be re-signed. So I'm going to say that the Bruins will probably keep that damn thing together. So you're probably talking about playing with Casey Mittelstadt. Now, does that excite anybody? No. Why would it?
No. I mean,
so
here's the thing.
Or Elias Lindholm again, and that's not exciting either. So how are you enticing guys to come play on your team?
Yeah. Well, the thing now is that we're going to start overrating Mittelstadt because he's something. Like, we want desperately to have someone come and produce. So now people are going to overrate Mittelstadt and be like, well, Mittelstadt had some upside. I'm tired of this guy has some upside and might do this and might do that. That's why they're in this predicament. Like, because of forecasting and because of thinking what they might get out of a guy. Some guys are who they are. So at this point, they need a guy who's like a really good hockey player who produces. And they need a couple of those guys offensively because this offense stinks. So, but again, people are going to be, well, at least they have Mittelstadt now. Mittelstadt is probably a 40 to 50 point guy, like Zacha, like Coyle was, like everybody is on the team.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need any more of those guys. They need guys who are 60, 70, 80 point guys. Because those are the teams, the other teams in the division all have guys like that who are above you. So that's what they need. And right now, even a Mittelstadt's just not enough. I mean, Mittelstadt's a third line center on a good team.
Mittelstadt's highest point total in a season was 59, and his highest goal total in a season is 15.
Yeah. That's not a top line center. That's not even a second line center. That's a third line center. So fine. If he's a third line center, great. But now you need a first and a second because you have a $7.75 million guy who gets less points than that. Less than that.
Yes, he does.
So yes, he does. They are completely fucked and screwed and pumped. Oh, punched and everything.
They porked themselves with that.
They are porked. There you go.
That contract, they porked themselves.
Yeah,
big time.
They are on all fours right now, taking it right now because it's just not happening.
No,
it's not happening anytime soon. I mean, I don't know.
I'm with Zach Case. He says tank for McKenna, and I'm with him.
I'm with you. I'm with you. If you can get like a Misa or someone this year, and then you tank for McKenna next year, then you might be talking 3 or 4 years down the road.
Yeah. I'm that's where I'm at right now with this team because I don't think they're going to be able to bring anything that's particularly great this offseason. I say save your cap space. Save it. Bring the rookies, bring the kids up. Have Patra, Merkulov, Lysell line and let them go fucking dash 35 and see if they can play at the NHL level and produce offense and then go, Duran with Kastelic because he's signed to a 3-year extension for no fucking reason whatsoever. And Lauko or somebody and go, Nutty with, whoever. A couple of stiffs you signed for like a 1-year, $3 or $4 million deal, and you have a top line that's pretty good, and you tank the fuck out of that thing.
You do.
You just tank the fuck out of it.
Tank it.
Bring Sacco back so you don't have to go find someone else.
Honestly, I'm going to change my thought. I'd really consider signing Sacco for like a 2-year deal. And say you want to be coach here 2 more years, go ahead, because you're going to ML car this thing like the Celtics did years ago.
Yeah,
and you're going to take the bullet until they get the draft picks and the talent that they want. Because I wouldn't waste a coach on this shit show right now. I wouldn't.
Nope.
And I don't know if a coach would come into this shit show. I mean, I need real reassurances. How are you going to build this roster? This roster's not nearly good enough. It's a bottom 10 roster in the league.
If I'm a coach,
end in sight.
I want some kind of say in personnel.
Yes,
coming in here, I want to have some kind of say in personnel.
Especially if I have a ton of experience.
Yeah. And if they don't give it to me, I'm like, no,
I'm not taking it.
I'm not taking it.
You're gonna end up with Ryan Wood,
Yeah, you can hire fucking Chris Kelly can do it or
Andrew Pedro said guys are gonna come to Boston because Lauko is a really good friend.
He is a good friend.
Yeah, he is a good friend.
He's a good friend. He's a nice guy. He's a good friend. He brings grapes in the dressing room. I don't know if you guys knew that. He's a big grape.
He does bring grapes. B said I could make the shirt because I'm getting really crafty. How are you with crafts? Are you a big crafts guy?
I hate fucking arts and crafts.
I didn't think you had the patience for crafts.
I hate it.
I am kind of a little apprentice when it comes to crafts. Tell me what to do, and I'll craft the shit out of something for like an hour or two.
No.
Yeah, I will. I don't know why.
I've always hated my entire life. I have hated it. Like when I used to go to I used to go to camp in the summertime because my mom worked, so I'd have to go to camp to waste away the days or whatever. And it was the pool was always fucking freezing, but they'd go in the morning. It was lessons, and then you do something. Might play a sport or capture the flag or something in the morning. You have lunch, and then it was crafts right after fucking lunch. And I hated that shit. Hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. Making things out of popsicle sticks or gluing shit to other shit. Like, fuck off with all that. I'm all set with it. No thanks. Putting sequins on things or glitter on. No.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'll tell you what. I was in Cub Scouts for 2 weeks. And we were making that fucking stupid log with the candles and the Christmas. And I went home to my mother. I said, don't ever drive me up the street to Cub Scouts again. Do you hear me? Don't do it again. Okay. If it doesn't involve a ball or a bat or a weapon or something. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that again. I hated it. I hated it. It was just a bunch of, it was like a organized circle jerk. It was just so stupid. Like, I'm not doing that. Just not doing it.
I went to a sports camp, which is a different camp than the other camp. I went to the YMCA camp and then sports camp. Sports camp I loved. I love
sports camp. The old BC sports camp in Waltham. Yeah.
Love that. It was all sports all the time. Right up my alley. Played.
Oh yeah.
Like sports all day long. Loved it.
Yeah. Loved it.
That was like my favorite thing in the world. It was like 8 times more expensive than the other camp. Yeah. So I went to the other camp most of the summer, and I went to sports camp for like a week.
But Doug Flutie drove us to BC barefoot.
Yeah.
He got pulled over by the cops, and he was barefoot. And they had like 5 of us in the car with him. Like, you can never do that today. But
no, I remember one of the basketball, Roger McCready.
Yeah.
He bent the rim at the middle school dunking. He did a reverse dunk and pulled the rim down and bent it. Yeah.
That team went far in the tournament that year, the BC team.
Yeah.
Today's sip for Dan Maynard is peach flavored Monster energy drink. Big energy drink guy.
It's the middle of fucking day for Danny.
That is. He needs a little.
Got to give him a break. Plus, he's got to be on high alert to look out for those fucking spiders that'll kill you.
They come like in your peripheral, like, Jesus. Sip tonight for Shaz diet is Shaxberry cider. Okay.
I don't know that one.
Cider. I don't know that either. No.
But sounds good. Cider's good.
Fox Guy 67 Weebelows. Remember Weebelows? Jesus, that's funny. Oh, Jesus. Maybe the West Coast trip is what this team needs to bond arts and crafts in San Jose. Says Andrew Pedro. Yeah, get out the crafts. Get out the cricket.
Everybody who's an arts and crafts guy. Beecher's probably an arts and crafts.
Beecher is arts and crafts.
He's a big arts and crafts guy. So everybody into Beecher's room on the West Coast. Everybody bring their cricket and their fucking.
I can see Beecher and Zacha and Lauko like crafting it up with some, old duels in the fucking. just pretending they're getting drunk and doing crafts.
Who's a celebrity that has the non-alcoholic beer now? Tom Holland? Is it Tom Holland?
Oh, Tom, does he?
I don't know.
Does he? I don't know.
I don't know. I thought I saw that somewhere, but yeah, they're probably drinking Tom Holland beer and crafting.
Oh, is that case when a giant margarita? It's tasty. Nice. Good for you.
I'm a big fan of margaritas.
Fox Guy says, let's have another mom's trip so Swayman will have someone to talk to. That's pretty good. Yeah. Swayman is arts and crafts. He is. He's making like what are those shirts where you tie-dye? He's making tie-dye shirts.
Yeah.
He's the asshole making all the fucking girlfriends their jean jackets for the playoffs.
Yeah. He's definitely.
He makes what is that, macrame or whatever? He's
macrame. Yeah.
He's knitting. He's knitting some sweaters.
Oh my God.
For the road.
Oh God. Taz24 says all season long the Bruins players have been saying the right things but doing the wrong things on the ice. If I was Sweeney, I would try to find a buyer for Swayman. I mean, we said this before. I think he'll give Swayman another shot next year.
Yeah.
And then if it's not going well, but now he's screwed. Like, who's going to take him? If you go a year and a half at 8.95 save percentage.
I mean, that's what the problem is, and we talked about this, on either one of the episodes or one of the other post games. It's kind of a catch-22 because you trade him now. His value's never been lower than it is right now. He's got a new contract and he underperformed this year. And then if he has another bad year next year, then, that's 2 years in a row and goalies can lose it. Like, look at Carter Hart. Like, there's been goalies that just lose it and never come back from it. But if he has a great year next year, then they probably won't want to deal him. They'll want to hold on to him because he's finally playing well. So that's a tough situation there to be able to get good value in return. You'd really be trying to just get out from under that contract, I think, more than anything. If you're if you're not sold on Swayman the player, then you're just trying to get out from under the contract more than anything, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Jared McKinnon says, for that 12-year-old discussion with Beecher, my son is a 12-year-old Pee-wee who had 7 goals, 5 assists this season for the state runner-up Missoula Bruins in Montana. Yeah, that's a bachelor state. You know what? You can tell your son you can be anything you want to be. You can be an NHL hockey player.
Yeah.
Because that's a John Beecher line right there.
Yeah. Tell him to work on it. Tell him to go to power skating. He can be John Beecher.
Yeah, just skate real hard down the right wing.
Skate fast in a straight line. And look, if he has the genes, that's important. Johnny Beach is like 6'2". So he's got to be a little bit big. Tell him to hit the weights, go to the power skating, and win faceoffs, and be willing to block a shot or two, and he'll be fine.
Yeah,
he can get a scholarship. He can get a scholarship to Michigan, for crying out loud.
He's playing the third line at Michigan for 4 years, and then playing NHL.
I think your son has a good chance.
He does. He does as good a chance as anyone.
Yeah.
Sean Michael says Sway sounds like a guy who has never felt a tit. like bags of sand. We would be better off by dumping Swayman this offseason and running with DiPietro Korpisalo, take his $8 million and get some offense here, says Matthew Curtis. We've said it before, and you've said it before. They were talking about this on sports radio today. Felger and Maz were talking about, they went through the top 8 or 10 paid goalies in the league. And they said, okay, we're going to name a guy. Tell me if he's worth it. The only guy that was worth the money was Vasilevsky. The only guy that was worth the money. Everybody else, they're like, eh. Bennington was a little bit worth the money because he was down at 6 because he had won a cup and they were kind of, knocking that around. But other than that, everyone else was not worth the money. So are you overrating goalies, which I think the league is starting to overrate goalies. And I think the Shesterkin and Swayman deals are going to show teams that it's not worth it.
No.
It's not worth it. Rather if we're going to pay that money, we'll pay 2 guys in tandem the thing and then pick the hot one at the end.
That's what Washington's seeing. That's what
Washington's is doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it worked.
And I think that's going to be the trend.
This is the part that I don't get. It worked for you.
For you. You set the trend.
Yeah. You had the best record in the fucking league. Sorry, John, but you did. And you just went away from it. You're like, well, one guy's older. Both of them are coming up for contracts. We got to pick one. They're not going to both want to stay with this. What if they went to the both of them at the same time and said, look, we'll sign you both to extensions, 4 times 5.5 for both of you.
You guys can play together.
We'll get the same fucking thing. You'll split the reps. Whoever at the end gets the net. And that thing probably would have worked out fine.
That would have worked out.
And then you wouldn't have had Ottawa have a goaltender now and be in the playoffs instead of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Jonesy says trading Swayman is not realistic at all, not worth covering a fake topic. And that's probably true. They're not going to trade him.
No.
Because they can't. They can't now. I mean, they aren't going to do it. I mean, look how long it took to trade core guys off the roster. It took everything inside of him to do it.
Oh yeah.
He's not doing it again.
No. Especially if he thinks that this is a one-off, a bad year for everybody, and everybody next year is going to bounce back and be the best versions of themselves. He's talking to fucking Tony Robbins or some shit.
Right.
Everybody all the time is going to be sunshine and rainbows, and you're going to get the 80-point Elias Lindholm and the the Charlie McAvoy top 5 for the Norris and 110-point Pastrnak, and you're gonna get all Zacha's gonna score fucking 65 points. You're gonna get that from everybody. Mittelstadt's gonna have his 60-point year again. Get the fuck out of here with that. You're delusional if you think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We would get buried with salary retention too, says Sean. It's probably true. Got to retain some. And you're retaining money anyway. Yeah, it's just not feasible. The Aiden Hill deal, as Shaz Diet says, should have been what Swayman got. And it's probably right. I mean, probably should have gotten 6, 7, 5 or 7 at the most.
Yeah.
Probably should have gotten in there. Should have gotten Gibson money, which is 6.5. And Bennington was at 6. All those guys in that range should have probably got right in that range.
Yeah.
And
that's the goalie market, though.
That's the goalie market. And he set the market.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that Beecher is still in the lineup every day. It's a joke. I can't believe what I am seeing. We are the worst team in the league. I could cry, says Nat Pat. Yeah, I mean, cry in your sips.
I mean, I'm with you now.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, this is not what I envisioned when the season started. I mean, we didn't love the contracts, but you didn't think they'd make the playoffs. I still did. And I guess you were right, but I didn't think this was going to be the end result.
I didn't think they would be this bad, but I didn't think they would make it.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to be worse. I thought they were going to be worse than last year, just based off of, who left and the fact that they didn't bring goal scorers. And like, you let Jabrus go, who was, as much as you say he's streaky, he was still a 25 goal guy for you, and you replaced him with a guy who cost more money and was less productive in Elias Lindholm. It just doesn't make any sense. And then you bring in Zadorov, who, I like the idea of the player, and I'm growing to love the guy, honestly, but I still think his contract's a little too much. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, over the course of, the 5 years, the cap will go up. So it'll be a better contract as we move along. And he's more of a playoff guy. It certainly appears. But you got to get there. And this team isn't there and won't get there. So, you got Lindholm and Zadorov for the playoffs, and you're not going to make it because they weren't good enough in the regular season. So I don't know where, where you go from here. I don't know where he thought he was, what he thought was going to happen. You thought Charlie Coyle and Pavel Zacha were going to have career years again. Charlie Coyle's 32 or 33 or whatever he is. He's not having another career year.
Yeah. One of the first comments was Nicky Canuck says he loves the show and he wants to know who we think the coach will be. I think it's going to be either Jay Leach or Mike Sullivan.
I would agree. I think it's probably going to be Jay Leach based off of the infomercial that behind the
I know. The Suckfest and Bruinsby. Yeah.
I mean, I really do. Yeah. They did that previously when they fired Claude, right?
Yeah, they had Cassidy.
He was brought in the year before. Just like
Same thing. When Leach was hired, I thought that this was happening.
Yeah. And then they gave him Lauko, which I didn't.
I think they were throwing Sacco a bone to try to get him another job. Like, I think he wants a head coaching job. I think they gave it to him to sort of as a precursor to say, okay, I coach the Bruins. I don't know. But, or they didn't want Leach to be a part of this thing. They wanted Leach to start clean. I don't know.
There you go. Tinfoil hat. There you go, Matty.
Yeah.
They keep him clean. He's the coach of the future that they brought in. When they brought him in, I believe they brought him in under the tag of a co-coach.
Yeah.
Not an associate coach or an assistant coach. There was a different title for Leach specifically. So they probably looked at it as, we're going to give him the job next season. This is probably going to go sideways no matter what we say publicly. Let Sacco take the fall. We get rid of all the assistants next year. Reset.
I think you're giving them too much credit that you thought that they thought it was going to go sideways. I don't think they have a fucking clue.
I really believe they are stunned that this happened.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. I think that they weren't going to move on with Montgomery. Why bring him back? Like, that is a big issue. Like, why bring a lame duck coach back when you know you're not going to invest in him? And you brought Jay Leach in to be his successor. So if he's the new coach, then you knew that Montgomery was not coming back. Why bring him back?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that at the time. It was a huge error.
Idiotic move.
And it was one of many, many errors they made in the offseason that led to the season that they had.
Many errors
that led to what happened. Right?
And that preseason was Joey Abate playing, 18 minutes of hockey in the preseason. Like, for what? He shouldn't even be in the organization. What are you giving him time for? Like, that's just brutal. So that's.
Do you think Fraser Minton gets a taste at the end of the season, or do you think they're like
absolutely not? I'm telling you, they're gonna roll out these lines for the next 13 games unless someone gets hurt. Farinacci's not coming up. Nobody is coming up that hasn't been up before.
Because they want to keep it tight in Providence. Get that
they've got that playoff run in Providence. Everybody's all horny about. Yeah. They're going to keep the kids down there together, playing in their playoff run when they're going to lose in the first round again. And then that's what they're going to do. They're not bringing him up. They would have brought people up already.
They should have.
That's why Poitras down there. I mean, they'd have Poitras up if they were thinking of giving guys time.
They should bring people up.
They should.
It's a perfect opportunity.
Right now, they're playing guys who they're not going to continue on with because it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. So they're going to just use these guys and then let them go at the end of the year.
I mean, I feel like Lohrei is gaining a lot of experience doing this, and they could be giving that same opportunity to a bunch of guys that they have, like their top prospects down there, learn at the NHL level. It's like a free trial where there's no pressure at all because the team already fucking blows. So they should be doing that. Like the Merkulovs, the Lysels, the Poitras, the Mintons, like all of those guys, Brunet even, like those guys should be getting time at the NHL level. Like, what does Ian Mitchell do for you? Zero.
Yeah, that I agree with. Like Brunet and Edwards should at least get a taste. I mean, they've been down there all year long, playing fairly well. Like they should at least get a taste of this. If Callahan got a taste, why the fuck isn't Brunet and Edwards getting a taste? Like, just give him a look. You know, but those guys I would agree with. I mean, I guess I could see why some of the forwards aren't getting it, but Mitten should at least. Mitten's played, 15 NHL games. He's played in NHL before. Like, he should get a taste. He should get a little bit of a taste. But they're not going to do it. They're gonna play these misfits, and then this off season and training camp next year, there's going to be a shit ton of guys that are basically just fighting for spots, I guess.
Bruins 1970 says give that goalie a look, which they should do that as well.
No, the goalie too. DiPietro should be out.
Yeah, he should get a look 100%.
I'll tell you what I would do. I would shelve Swayman for the rest of the year, and I would play DiPietro and see what you have. I would just say, you know what? Season's over. We're going to give you a rest. We're going to let you rest now. Get a good summer. No injuries.
His body feels great, but
you're excellent health. You lunatic, and then you can come back in training camp. Ready to go and ready to be a 920 goaltender like you should be, because that's what you asked for when you're.
567 says Patrick Brown actually has worse career numbers than Beecher. What the fuck is he up?
Yeah. So here's the thing. In the group chat tonight, Smitty says Patrick Brown is, and he called him Patrick for once, not Connor. Patrick Brown is useless, right? Yeah. He's like you said, Fox guy. He's 32.
Yeah.
What is he doing in the organization? Like what? Like what good is he? Like, honestly, especially now.
You know,
I can see if you had a cup contending team.
What was my answer though?
What was your answer? I can't remember. What was your answer?
He's the captain of the Providence.
He's the captain of the Providence Bruins.
He's the captain. Love the captain.
Captain of the Providence Bruins. 10 goals and 16 assists in 156 career games. That's about 9 goals more than I'd have. I mean, Jesus Christ. Kick one in. I mean, put your body in front of the net and have him knock off your stick like Alex Tuck tonight. Like something. Justin Brazeau had 10 goals this year, and he sucks.
Yeah.
And this guy has 10 his whole career. Like, yeah, I agree. I don't get the Patrick Brown thing. Like, why? What purpose? And he's a UFA. Like, what purpose is Patrick Brown right now?
Their whole like I've said it a million times, and the commenters are probably sick of me saying it over and over. Like, their whole development thing that needs to get blown up. Like, what are you doing? That's not a development. The guy's 32. He is what he is now. Why is he playing at the NHL level? You have guys that should be getting opportunities at this level that may walk now. They may go somewhere else, because they're not getting an opportunity, even though the team's awful. So
yeah,
I don't know what their plan is for young players within the organization. It doesn't seem like they get better. If they do, it's all on the player. It's not anything that the coaching staff has done to improve.
It's always on the player.
Always on the player. It's like Marchand did it himself, basically.
Right. I'd love a media member to ask Don Sweeney, are you happy with your young player development? players who don't start right away, like McAvoy and pretty much Lohrei, like player Carlo, they all kind of started right away in the league. But guys who aren't ready, are you happy with who you've developed to actually join the big club? Because there aren't many. Beecher was one, I guess. But who have they developed?
Yeah, he hasn't gotten. He's been the same player since.
Yeah, he's the same. He's not really developed. They just decided to play him. Who have you developed who's gotten better and now ready to play? Zero people. Zero. So somebody asked that question.
Mason Lohrei.
Mason Lohrei barely played. Didn't even play in the AHL. So I'm talking about guys who didn't start with the big club, were in the minors and developed, and then joined the team. I can't think of a guy.
Well, I mean, back in the day, it was like Bergeron.
Back in the day, Bergeron, Krejci, Marchand. But since then, since this core has taken up all the roster spots, and now you need more guys to jump in. You need young players to develop. Who has developed in the minors? Who have you developed as an organization? And are you happy with the way you develop young players? What's the strategy? Ask follow-up questions. Get something out of the guy. Because you'll tell a lot in his answer. Because if it's a nothing burger of an answer, then he doesn't know. So that's what I'd like someone to ask him. So if Don Sweeney would like to come on the program, I'd love to talk to him about youth player development. I'd love to talk about the identity of the players he drafts. What identity you're looking for? What are the common things? Give me 3 common things every player should have. Are they all captains of their mite team? Great. Then that's one. Khustnidinov, captain of every level. Fucking Fraser Minton, captain of the World Junior Team Canada.
Patrick Brown, captain.
John Farinacci, captain everywhere he was. Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want captains? Okay, one. Great.
Wasn't Mark McLaughlin a captain too?
Mark McLaughlin was captain at BC, sure. Yeah. So if that's what it is, leadership, great. Okay. There's one. But that's what I'd like to know. Somebody please just ask.
Great. Leadership is great, but can they play?
Can you play the game of hockey? Yes. Yeah.
Trav is asking, do you think Zellers will be NHL ready next season along with Minton? Zellers,
absolutely not.
No, Zellers is going to North Dakota to play college, and he'll be at North Dakota unless he lights it up as a freshman, which is unlikely these days because he's in college hockey. Now you're playing against a lot of times 22 and 23-year-olds. He'll be 19, I believe, as a freshman. So he's probably looking at least 2 years at North Dakota, probably 3. And then, if he's really good, maybe he comes out after.
He comes out, but I would say he's got 2 years.
At least 2 years in college, maybe 3. And then depending on where he is at that point in time, he could either make the big club or he'll go to Providence. So
here's the thing, and Connor brought this up today earlier on during the day. He said that in the NCAA, the team has 4 years of rights before they need to sign. In the OHL, the Canadian players, they only have 2 years. So the Bruins are probably advising guys to stay longer because you get that. You squeeze out all that time that they have the rights before you even have to sign them.
Yeah.
Then you sign them to entry-level deal. So there's no question that they'll advise Zellers to stay at least 2 years. With Gasso and Shelvick are going to head into senior year. Svedback is junior year. So I don't think there's any chance in hell that he comes out unless he scores 30 goals this year with North Dakota. I don't see there's any reason or any way that he comes out after his freshman year. I don't.
No.
So, and who's to say he'll be, any good? I don't even know. I mean, there's some video of him doing really well, but we've seen that song and dance before. Sure. I'm getting done with this guy's gonna be great because, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I'd like to see if he goes in freshman year and scores 16, 18 goals for North Dakota in that league, then that'll open eyes. But if he goes in and scores 3 goals like Casper Nassen does and all these other fucking guys, then
Hunter Massey says, as a Leafs fan, Minton will be could be in the NHL right now. Minton should make the team next year. I feel like he should be on the Bruins next year.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think he's better than probably 3 forwards they have right now.
He's probably their best prospect right now.
Yeah, he probably is. I was just thinking of that today. Minton and Zellers are probably top 5 prospects now for them.
Sure.
That's how bad their prospect pool is.
Yeah.
Like Lysell is probably still a top prospect. Lysell, who hasn't even gotten a fucking crack at it. There's all sorts of questions about him. He's your top prospect. Like Merkulov, I don't even know if he's on the radar as a prospect. He's going to be 25 next year. Is that a prospect? Like
probably not. It's probably it would probably be Minton and then Poitras and then Lysell and then maybe Zellers because he's still
Zellers
college and
that's about all you can speak of. Then like Pelosi, maybe
it's thin. It's thin.
It's wicked. It's as thin. I would argue it's as thin as it's ever been that I can remember. Like even thinner than 3 years ago. Wow. It's pretty thin.
3 years ago they had Lohrei down there.
Yeah, you had Lohrei and you had Poitras and you had Lysell and you had Merkulov who signed, and you're like, okay, we have a few guys. Mm-hmm. Like your top 6 or 8 would be okay, but now it's like some of those guys aren't really great prospects anymore.
No,
who's Nadinov, as our Florida Garden says. I like Nutty, but who the hell knows? And that's true. And I do like the fact he has speed. He's tenacious. He wins pucks. Like he wins all sorts of pucks.
Mm-hmm.
And he scored a couple of goals. He is kind of undersized. But as Smitty said, like, I don't mind him on like the 4th line. Like just being a menace for 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. Like, sure, if you could put him out there with Kastelic and somebody, I don't mind that. Like, I think that'd be fine.
Swayman needs a buddy.
Yeah, but I don't think you're looking at Nutty being a top 6 guy. I mean, he'd have to come along to be a top 6 viable. I'm saying top 6 guy on a team that contends, like a team that has Atlantic Division aspirations, like not just a team, not just the team. I'm saying a good team,
right?
Like I still think he's bottom 6, and if he's if he's a better version of Lauko, then that's fine.
Sure.
Then that's if he's
what you would like Lauko to be. Win no matter what. The trade's
a win. Yeah, the trade's a win. I wouldn't worry about that.
You got a draft pick back. You got a young guy who's 22 who has potentially some upside, and you got Lauko back who's already had as many goals or whatever as fucking.
Yeah. And he's your goalie's best friend. And you got a 6th round pick that's a flyer that maybe you hit something. Who knows?
Dan Maynard was asking out of curiosity who the Bruins' last game this year was against, because it would be their last game, and it's the New Jersey Devils at home on a Tuesday. April 15th is their last game. That will be the shirts off their backs, that bullshit thing they do.
Is that at home?
Yeah, that's a home game. Yep.
Yeah, that's the shirt off the back game. Yeah.
So so you can go and maybe get Johnny Beecher's shirt right off his back that night.
Yeah.
Lord knows he'll be in the fucking lineup.
I'll tell you what, you'll get some decent price tickets.
No, the shirt off their back ones, people buy that shit ahead of time because they want that's an actual incentive to go to the game. That one of all the games left, I bet that one's the hardest one to get a ticket for.
Yeah. It probably is.
It should be easy to get tickets to all the games, but that one of all of the ones left, that will be the hardest one. Just because you have the opportunity to leave with, Pastrnak shirt or something like that.
So. Right. B just texted me and said, maybe you guys can get some grant money from Alcoholics Anonymous for all the drinkers you have in your chat comments.
Can we do that? Can Alcoholics Anonymous sponsor this podcast?
Sponsored by Alcoholics. We do like the PSA. Give us some money. Yeah, sure. We'll act like we're cognizant of it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Jesus, you're right. Yeah. What's the prediction on Pasta's final point stat? I think he has an outside shot at 100. Right now he's at 83 with 13 to go. So you need 17 and 13. He's done that before. And it's an outside shot. I'm going to say 95.
Yeah, I was going to say somewhere in there.
95. And I think he'll get to, what does he have, 34 goals? I think he might get 40. I'm going to say 38 and, what is that? 38 and 57 for 95.
I think he's going to get, he'll end up with 93 points and he'll get, 37 and chain and whatever. I'll go a little
37 and change.
Yeah.
Equals 93. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Zeph Griffith version 2 says Travis on Beecher.
Zeph Griffith was a better player.
He actually was. He was. It was a decent year in there for Zeph Griffith.
It was.
Yeah, he was actually a better player. Who was hip twirler? Who was a hip twirler? Spooner. Ryan Spooner.
Yeah, Seth Griffith, as an AHL guy, was a much better player than Johnny.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Much better player.
He was like a 4A All-Star. Seth
one of the top AHL players when he was playing.
I think he had multiple 20-goal seasons in the AHL.
Yeah. Only NHL team this year to have no prospects in the World Junior Tournament, says Matt Curtis. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. I mean, who would be? Like Pelosi just got last cut.
Yeah, he was last cut.
Yeah, he was the last cut.
Oh, there's a guy that has some upside that
he does.
Could potentially be excited about. Like I don't want to shit on absolutely everyone. Like Andre Gasseau is having a pretty good year for BC this year. He has like 14 or 15 goals. Like he's having a pretty good year. So that's a guy that could be something down the line for you. But again, is he going to be an impact like top 6 guy? Probably not. It's more like
no.
He's going to be
he's a bottom 6er again. They're going to punch him.
Yeah. He's going to be a third line guy.
Yeah.
But that's why your prospect pool is so bad. Like even your top prospects are guys who aren't impact guys. Like you don't have those in your system. You have a bunch of third, fourth line guys, who will be, they'll probably play in the NHL at some point, but it's not anything, that's you're going to have to get impact guys outside of your organization.
You are going to have to, because I think if you're any good, then like your third line would be like Mittelstadt, Poitras, somebody. Like I don't think Mittelstadt or Poitras or any of those guys are real good top 6 players on a really good team. So if that's your third line, you might have a fighting chance.
Poitras, Mittelstadt, Minton,
yeah, third line, sure. And then Pastrnak's up on the top line with a bunch of guys. I don't know, get some guys. But I don't think what you have right now, other than Pastrnak and maybe Zacha, is real top 6 talent on a Stanley Cup contending team. And that's the problem. You need like 4 wingers or top 6 wingers who are legitimate players to be a Stanley Cup contender again. That's how far away they are. I mean, you can make the playoffs, baby, with, look at this year. They almost made, Jesus, they're only 3 points out of the wild card spot still. So it's not that difficult to make the playoffs if you make a couple tweaks. But I'm talking like win the cup. It's a long way away. Next year is 15 years since the cup already. Time speeds up on you. All right, a couple more before we take off here. Someone asked about what was it? Somebody asked about Lindholm, Hampus Lindholm, and heard that the knee was similar to Kevin Miller. It's like exactly what Kevin Miller. It's like broken kneecap.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both at around the same age that it happened. So it's kind of scary thing. And the fact that he went out and then got shut down pretty quickly and abruptly and no other real updates is a little concerning heading into the offseason. Because Kevin Miller was never the same. Now, he was a banger, and that's a whole other thing. But Lindholm is a gifted skater and offensive kind of puck mover.
Yeah, I mean, skating is a big part of his game, and if he can't move, he's in trouble because he's not a real physical guy. And Kevin Miller had a setback just like Lindholm did, and he was never the same. So
never.
That's something definitely to monitor and worry about. And that's why I'm saying if if the kid Schaefer is supposed to be, Cale Makar or Quinn Hughes or somebody, and you get the number one pick, you're taking the best player. And if he's the best player, you take him.
Yeah.
And you try to move Hampus Lindholm, or you try to move Nathan Lohrei, or whatever the case may be. If you need to make a spot for that kid, you make a spot for him. If he's going to be an impact player, because you need more of those. I
think Lindholm might turn into a Savard where you trade the contract eventually for cap floor reasons or something. I'd hate to say the guy is all done and all that stuff, but I think it's a little more concerning than people are leading on, and I really need to see him come back and actually play. He also plays like 24 minutes a game.
He did.
He plays a ton of ice time too. And he's 31. He's not 26. This is kind of concerning. Now they can long-term IR him, and the money part is fine, but they have to replace the player who's a pretty good player. As much as we kind of shit on him here and there, he was your best player probably the first month of the season.
Yeah,
he's playing really well. And he's kind of underrated that way. When he's good, he's really good.
Yeah,
but you can shelf the LTIR, and then you can trade him to a cap floor team, and like they did with Savard. So, but that's not ideal. That's not ideal at all, because now you have to replace the player. So and you have Lohrei and Zadorov.
He's still getting paid. You're just long-terming IR the contract, so you have to have an ownership that's willing to go above the salary cap.
Above the cap, because you got to because you pay insurance. Do you pay insurance?
Yeah, probably insurance.
The insurance pays it. But you have to be willing to go get a guy. And I still am not can totally guarantee that the ownership will pay to a cap that's $110 million in 2 years. I still want to see that happen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Jaukb was one of the main guys who fought for the salary cap.
He was like the main cog in that. Yeah,
that fought for the salary cap. So
because that created a competitive balance for them.
Right, and it's going to get to a point where is he going to still, looking at his bottom line, is he going to still want to pay, or is he going to pay to bring in these players that are going to, help him win? If the salary cap is going up and up and up, at some point he's going to say, it's not worth it. I'm not making as much money as I was, or, the team's not good enough now. I'm not going to spend, so it'll be interesting to see, because he had the reputation as being kind of a, cheap guy who didn't really care about hockey at all, just cared about the bottom line. And if the team's not very good and the cap's going up, I wonder if he's gonna spending up to.
I really do. I don't think it's a given. I really don't, and I'm really interested to see that. It's a pretty substantial hike in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. You can. Dan asked about the logistics of it. Yeah, if he retires, or you can, I don't think he'd retire. He'd probably go long-term IR, and then you can get that money back toward the cap. So, but you have to replace the player. That's what sucks about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they shut him down based on their experience with the Kevin Miller industry, so he can come back. And that's Shaz Diet says that, and that's probably the case. They have history with that injury.
Mm-hmm.
So when he had any type of tweak or setback, they were like, we're not doing this. So hopefully it's fully healed for next training camp, which Connor said there's some whispers about the season starting in September because of the Olympics. So maybe it starts a little early.
Yeah.
Which is good for us as podcasters and fans, that it was going to be like 6 months, almost 6 months with no real hockey.
Yeah.
So if September is the case, then great. Chychrun and Ehlers, says Matthew Curtis.
I'm in. Sure.
Chychrun, yeah. Sure.
And Ehlers, I would take both of them. Yeah. Trav says Besser or Marner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think you'll get any of those guys to come to your team.
I don't know. I just don't. There's just not a lot there other than Pastrnak. Pastrnak has to be your biggest recruiter, and McAvoy. They've got to be your biggest recruiters to the team in the off season, because they all talk. So, and I think Pasternak's willing to do that, and probably will do that. It's just a matter of will they come just based on that. Bergeron was a big recruiter back in the day.
Yeah.
So, it's that's what they're going to need is someone to want to come play with Pastrnak and to be able to be talked into that and overspend.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay a suck tax. Like you're gonna have to overspend for a guy. Now, are they willing to go above what Pastrnak's making? There was a ceiling before when Ray Bourque was on the team. You couldn't go above Bourque, and they wouldn't spend above that AAV for anyone. Now, will they do that to go above Pastrnak and to sign a Marner? Because they'll have to if they want to bring him in. He's not going to take less to come here. So, unless you can get him for the same price as Pastrnak and he wants to stick it to Toronto. But I feel like if that's the case, he'll go to Tampa Bay or Florida or even Montreal or Detroit or Ottawa. Any of those teams are better than
Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're seventh in the division. There's a whole bunch of teams in your division better than you that Marner would go to instead of you.
Yeah.
To stick it to Toronto
with less income tax and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors there. And I don't think 13 gets it, Matthew Curtis. I think it might be like 14. I mean, if it comes down to Toronto and you and other teams offering 13, you're going to have to offer 14 because you're not that good. You're a bad team right now. So I think
you're going to have to blow other teams away with your offer.
And then the other thing is, are you willing to pay above Pastrnak?
Right.
Is he the bar? If he's the bar, then you're paying only 11 to the next guy most.
Yeah.
So that's not getting Marner.
No.
So it's not getting Rantanen. It's not getting Marner. So I don't know. Then maybe
you might be able to get Besser and Ehlers, but again, it's going to have to be an overpay, and then people are going to be complaining about their contracts too.
Right. Because Besser has his issues, and so I don't know. It's not.
No, it's a bad circumstance. It's a bad circumstance.
It is. You don't really have any assets to trade either.
No, they're in a bad spot. They're in a real bad spot, and we've talked about it before. They should have cleared house within the whole organization, like general manager, president, everybody, scouting staff, clear the thing out and start from scratch. And if you're going to do that, I don't think you should be looking to sign big name free agents this offseason. You should be thinking so that you can get Gavin McKenna. And if that thing works out, you bring him in. And then if you keep your money down this offseason, you should have plenty next offseason. You probably have an extension for Lohrei, some RFAs there. But that's when you try to spend and you say, look, we have Pastrnak, we have McKenna, we have whoever we drafted in this draft this year. We have McAvoy, hopefully Swayman rebounds. You have that. And then maybe you can sell that thing. Like a couple of really good young players that you drafted in these 2 years. You have Pastrnak, McAvoy, and then maybe that's something you can build around. But it's going to take you at least a couple of years. And I think next year is the year that, of all the years, you got to be really bad, like really, really bad, like San Jose bad, like -70 bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're there now, but yeah, I mean, they really
be bottom 3 of the league to get a chance at that money ball. Yeah, you do. And I'm not saying that Pastrnak wouldn't allow someone over that. I'm not even saying that. I mean, maybe he would. I have no idea. But I just think recent history shows that, David Krejci was like the bar for a while. Rask was right under it, and he didn't really go over that. And they've set bars before. So I'm just thinking that could be what they're doing now. Do they invest $13 million in a guy? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they'll think it's too high a percentage of the cap or whatever the case is. And, then when Pastrnak needs his extension, how much are you going to pay him? So there's that thing as part of it too.
Right. Yeah. There's no question. And they do have 2 first-round picks next year. So that's the other thing. Like, it would be ideal, as hard as this to say, for them to be like bottom 5 of the league next year.
The Toronto one's protected top 5 because they're not
right. And Toronto's going to be a mid-20s at the least.
Right.
Anyway, I mean, they're going to be good next year. So, they're not in any position that you're in. That's for fuck sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So that'll do it. Hey, great night of comments. Again, 13 more to go. We're gonna have some sort of end of year thing. I don't know what it is, but something.
Yeah.
And toast it with all our sips and all our rock glasses. Hey, buy something. Keep the streak
alive.
Off 20% off with code Sorry John. Anything there for Bruins Benders merch, and we'll do it again on Thursday night, the late one. So let's see about that for the way. All right. Until then, as always,
thanks a lot. Bye bye.